Top 10 Grand Theft Auto Clones. Welcome back, folks. Today we're going to take a look at some of the most famous clones at the Grand Theft Auto series. The Grand Theft Auto franchise is one of the most iconic and influential game series of all time, known for its open-world gameplay, immersive storylines, and thrilling action. Over the years, many game developers have tried to capture the essence of GTA and create their own versions of the game. From Saints Row to Sleeping Dogs, we're going to take a closer look at some of the most notable GTA clones and see how they stack up against the original. So sit back, grab your controller, and let's dive into the world of Grand Theft Auto clones.
Bitch. Run out! Get him in the car! Move! Shut him up!
Zeus!
Idiots!
The Getaway. The Getaway is a third-person action-adventure game set in London, which shares several similarities with the Grand Theft Auto series. Like GTA, The Getaway is an open-world game that allows players to explore a vast city and complete various missions. The game also features car theft, gunfights, and hand-to-hand combat similar to GTA. It also includes driving mechanics, which were widely loved by players, and the environment locals were also in a comparatively urban setting, similar to GTA, where they base off most of the story in fictionalized versions of legitimate cities. The game starts with a tragic event where Mark's wife Susie is killed and their son Alex is kidnapped by Bethnal Green Mob. Mark is left with no option but to work for Charlie Jolson to save his son's life. The game's main storyline revolves around completing missions for Charlie while uncovering the truth behind Susie's murder and ultimately saving Alex. The game offers an immersive and intense experience with its thrilling storyline and a variety of weapons and vehicles at the player's disposal. The game's storyline is gripping, with well-written characters and a tense atmosphere that keeps players on the edge of their seats. The game includes some of the best works of script writing of the 2000s and adds to the game's overall immersion, making it a must-play for fans of the action-adventure genre. APB Reloaded. Both APB Reloaded and Grand Theft Auto offer open-world gameplay, allowing players to explore and interact with various objects and characters. In both games, players take on the role of a criminal or law enforcement officer and engage in criminal activities such as theft, vandalism, and gang violence. The games are played from a third-person perspective, giving players a clear view of the character and the game world. Additionally, both games offer various multiplayer modes, allowing players to team up or compete against each other in missions, races, and death matches. The game's storyline is based around two factions, the criminals and the enforcers. Players can choose to play as either a criminal or an enforcer and participate in various missions. It revolves around the growing conflict between the criminals and enforcers in San Pero. The missions are divided into two categories: contact missions and activities. Contact missions are story-driven missions that advance the game's plot and are specific to either the criminals or enforcers. Crackdown. Crackdown and Grand Theft Auto share numerous similarities, making them a favorite among gamers. First and foremost, both games are set in expansive open-world environments, enabling players to explore and interact with a broad range of objects and characters. Additionally, players can engage in criminal activities like theft, violence, and other unlawful acts. Further, gamers can customize their character's appearance, weapons, and vehicles, tailoring their playstyle. Moreover, both games provide plenty of side missions and activities, keeping players engaged beyond the primary story missions. Players can also advance their character's abilities and skills through gameplay and missions. Furthermore, vehicles like cars, motorcycles, and boats are available to explore the game world. Both games have a wanted system that tracks criminal activity, resulting in heightened law enforcement response as notoriety increases. In addition, players have access to various weapons like guns, explosive, and melee weapons. Lastly, Finally, both games offer multiplayer modes for players to collaborate or complete in different game modes. The game is set in the fictional metropolis of Pacific City, where players can take on the role of a genetically enhanced law enforcement agent known as an agent. The game's primary objective is to bring down 3 crime lords who have taken control over the city. The game storyline is delivered through briefings from the agency, the organization that created and controls the agents. Players are tasked with completing a series of missions to weaken the crime lords' operations and eventually eliminate them. Overall, Crackdown is a fun and engaging open-world game that offers players a lot of freedom and choice in how they approach the game's objectives. Its unique leveling system and variety of weapons and abilities make it a rewarding experience for players who enjoy action-oriented gameplay. Despite some minor flaws, such as repetitive mission design, the game remains a cult classic and a standout title on the Xbox 360 platform.
I'll play with you. Do you want to play rap? Say hello to my little friend!
Scarface, The World Is Yours. Scarface, The World Is Yours and Grand Theft Auto share several similarities that make them appealing to gamers. Firstly, both games take place in vast open-world environments that enable players to explore and interact with various objects and characters. Additionally, players view the game and their character from a third-person perspective, providing them with a clear view of their surroundings and actions. Both games also offer a wide range of customization options for characters, vehicles, and weapons, allowing players to tailor their gameplay experience. The games provide a variety of side missions and activities that offer additional content for players to explore outside of the main story. Both the games have a wanted system that tracks a player's criminal activity and increases the response of law enforcement as the player's notoriety increases. In the game, players take on the role of Tony Montana, the main character from the classic 1983 movie Scarface. The game begins with the famous mansion shootout scene from the movie and diverges from the film's storyline as Tony survives the attack and sets out to reclaim his drug empire in Miami. The game follows Tony's quest for vengeance against those who betrayed him and his attempts to regain control of the drug trade in Miami.
Don't mess with me.
Sleeping Dogs. Both games take place in open-world environments that offer vast and detailed cityscapes for players to explore from a third-person perspective. They also feature an intricate hand-to-hand combat system, driving mechanics, a variety of vehicles, and a plethora of side missions and activities that provide additional content for players to explore outside of the main story. In addition, players can customize their character's appearance, clothes, and accessories, and there are multiplayer modes that allow players to team up or compete against each other in various game modes. The plot of Sleeping Dog follows the story of an undercover police officer named Wai Shen, who is assigned to infiltrate a notorious triad organization in Hong Kong. As Wai becomes more deeply embedded in the criminal underworld, we must balance his loyalty to the police force with his growing allegiance to his triad brothers. Along the way, he must navigate dangerous situations and make difficult choices that will ultimately determine his fate. Overall, Sleeping Dogs is a well-crafted game that immerses players in the world of Hong Kong's criminal underworld. The story is compelling and the characters are well written and fleshed out. The game's combat system is one of its strongest features, providing players with a challenging and satisfying experience.
Well, let's rumble then.
Crime Life, Gang Wars. Both Crime Life, Gang Wars and Grand Theft Auto take place in large open-world urban environments where players assume the role of a criminal character engaging in various illegal activities. Players can explore these game worlds using a variety of vehicles and hijack other vehicles for their own purposes. Players can purchase and acquire properties to generate income and discover hidden collectibles and secrets. Racing and driving challenges, mini-games, and arcade-style challenges are available in both games. Multiplayer gameplay is an option, and both games have a large modding community that creates custom content. Multiple endings can be achieved based on player choices throughout the game, and sandbox-style gameplay allows players to approach objectives and tasks in a variety of ways. In Crime Life Gang Wars, the player takes on the role of Trey, a member of the Outlaws gang in the fictional city of Grand Central. The game follows Trey as he rises through the ranks of his gang and navigates a dangerous world of rival gangs and corrupt police officers. The game features a branching storyline with multiple endings based on the player's choices and actions throughout the game.
Get out!
The Godfather. The Godfather and Grand Theft Auto share a lot in common in terms of gameplay mechanics and design. Both games feature detailed open-world maps, day-night cycles, and a variety of clothing options for the player character. They also allow players to purchase and upgrade properties to generate income, and have a range of mini-games and challenges to engage in. Additionally, both games have a diverse cast of characters with unique personalities and stories, as well as multiple endings affected by player choices. The games also have a sandbox-style gameplay experience that allows players to approach objectives in a variety of ways. Both games feature a range of vehicles for the player to use and allow players to hijack vehicles for their own purposes. The game follows the story of a young man named Aldo Trapani, who rises through the ranks of the Corleone crime family in New York City during the 1940s and 1950s. The game's plot closely mirrors that of the movie, with players taking part in various illegal activities such as extortion, theft, and murder to gain power and influence. As Aldo becomes more involved in the Corleone's family's operations, he must navigate the dangerous politics of the criminal underworld, make alliances, and take out his enemies. The game also features a number of original storylines and characters, giving players a deeper look into the world of the Corleones. Gangster Cry City, and Grand Theft Auto share several similarities in terms of gameplay mechanics. Both games are set in open-world environments with urban settings that allow players to freely explore vast maps. Players can take on the role of a criminal character in both games and engage in a variety of illegal activities. They also have access to a wide range of vehicles. Players can acquire and purchase properties to generate income in both games, and they have access to hidden collectibles and secrets to discover. The games also feature arcade-style challenges and mini-games for players to engage with, as well as a sandbox-style gameplay experience that allows players to approach objectives and tasks in various ways. The game is set in a fictional city where players assume the role of a gangster looking to rise to power. The game is divided into several storylines, with players working their way up the criminal hierarchy by completing missions, engaging in gunfights, and stealing cars. The ultimate goal is to become the kingpin of the city's criminal underworld by taking control of the city's various criminal factions and eliminating all who oppose them. The Simpsons Hit and Run. The Simpsons Hit and Run and Grand Theft Auto share several similarities in terms of gameplay mechanics. Both games take place in an open-world environment that allows players to explore and interact with the game world. Players can use a variety of vehicles, including cars, motorcycles, and boats, to traverse the game world, as well as hijack and steal other vehicles. Both games have a cast of diverse characters with unique personalities and stories. Players can participate in races, mini-games, and arcade-style challenges and uncover hidden collectibles and secrets. The games also feature a satirical and humorous tone. Additionally, players can interact with and cause chaos in the game world with consequences from the police and other NPCs. In Simpsons Hit and Run, strange things are happening in Springfield, and the Simpsons family is determined to get to the bottom of it. As the player, you take on the role of various characters from the show, including Homer, Bart, and Marge, as you explore an open-world version of Springfield. As you progress through the game, the Simpsons must uncover the truth behind the mysterious events in their town and put a stop to the evil mastermind behind it all. Driver 3. Driver 3 and Grand Theft Auto share several similarities beyond their crime-focused gameplay and third-person perspective. Both games offer an open-world environment for players to explore and interact with a variety of vehicles available for navigation. Character customization, police chases, and story-driven missions are also common features. Both games have a large cast of non-playable characters, in-game radio stations, and multiplayer modes. Real-world locations such as Miami and Liberty City are used in both games, and both contain Easter eggs and hidden content. While they may differ in some areas, these similarities suggest a common approach to the open-world action genre. The game follows the undercover police officer Tanner as he investigates a global car theft ring. It revolves around Tanner's attempts to infiltrate the car theft ring and bring down its leader, a notorious crime lord named Jericho. Along the way, Tanner must engage in high-speed car chases, shootouts, and other dangerous missions to gather evidence and gain the trust of the criminals he is investigating. As the game progresses, Tanner becomes embroiled in a web of corruption and deceit, with unexpected twists and turns that keep the player engaged. Driver 3's plot is an action-packed tale of crime and betrayal, with a cinematic feel that draws players into its world of high-speed chases and dangerous undercover work. Marvelous verdict. As we come to the end of this video, it's clear that the similarities between Grand Theft Auto and its clones are many. From the ability to explore vast open worlds to the diverse range of characters and activities available to players, it's easy to see why these games have become so popular. While there are certainly differences between each of these games, the core gameplay mechanics and features are largely the same. Whether you're a fan of Grand Theft Auto, Simpsons Hit and Run, or any of the other games we've mentioned, there's no denying the influence that this genre has had on gaming as a whole.
Mistake.